Morning, Belgium. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to LockPod, Season 7, Episode 16.
I liked how you did that. You said good evening because you knew it was evening.
Good morning,
in Belgium.
good evening. Right.
Yeah, you're like,
we're back.
hello, Belgium. Good evening.
Good evening. Guten Tag, or whatever you say over there.
Good evening.
What do they say over there?
I think what Lindsey said. Say it again,
Really?
Liz.
Good evening.
By the way,
you speak like a vampire?
it's Romania.
I know that.
That's how you do it in Belgium.
I
You
was
go
just
over there and you
saying-
talk like
I just
Count
wanted to be
Dracula.
involved. That's all.
Welcome back.
Hey, by the way, yeah, welcome back.
Post-COVID Lindsey.
COVID girl.
I know. Thank you. Kevin was saying that I look great today.
Yes.
I don't feel great.
You look chipper.
How'd you
Like
get
you look
it?
more
Tired.
awake. I think
Who
she looks
gave it
more
to you?
awake.
Who gave it to you?
I haven't figured that out yet, but I know it happened at the wedding.
Super
even though
spreader?
Brian is denying it, even though one of my bridesmaids got sick around the same time, and then some other people.
What's Brian denying?
He doesn't think I got it at the wedding because he's fine.
I
but
think that
that's not how it works.
maybe he's got the antibodies. Maybe he secretly got it.
He got the second booster 2
See?
weeks before the wedding.
That makes sense.
I
Good
was
job,
actually
Brian.
going to get the second booster
thinking,
the day
Brian.
after
I know,
I
right?
got.
You got to get mine.
You
sick.
got even better now. You got the antibodies.
Yes,
Yeah. You're
but
free,
in
man.
6 months I'm gonna have to get that booster.
All right.
I listened to our last
Welcome
episode.
back. Mm-hmm.
Funny. I think
Yeah,
we're
it was
funnier
good.
when Lindsay's not here. Actually, It's
Wow.
weird. Yeah, we're more free.
You know,
can tell
Lindsay?
we're just operating lighter.
You're not more
That's-
free.
Welcome
You
back,
just
Li-
have
welcome back to
less
the
of a
notorious
voice
LMP.
of reason.
No, we did have a good show last time.
It was a lot of fun.
And
Yeah.
it was our
But-
first time on Twitter
Yes.
as well as Facebook.
Oh, that's right, Lindsay. We've changed the way we do business.
I know.
since
I
you've been
listened to the
gone.
last episode.
I'm just talking to you like you don't know what's going on. Just play along, okay?
Because we
I'm
know
not
you don't
gonna play
listen.
along. I do.
Because we know you don't listen to
We're
the
I
on
past
this
fast
thing,
forward.
Lindsay. We're on Twitter. Twitter.
I know.
Dude, last night I texted you guys, man, this Jennifer-Ruth Green thing's going to take an hour. How are we going to have Destiny on? That's going to take another hour. And Lindsay goes, what are you talking about?
I was
I'm like,
what?
look at
What?
the shared note, Lindsay.
Yeah.
I'm going to be perfectly honest. When I am not on an episode, I just fast forward until you guys talk about me.
Oh,
Really?
see.
I
Which
just
is-
like to know what
So
you
you
guys
fast
talk
forward
about.
the whole episode.
So you skip episodes is what
Yeah,
you're
right.
saying.
Last episode you talked about me for about 5 minutes at the beginning of the episode, and then I was like, okay, that's it.
Oh, really?
That's all I
We're
need
not
to
on
hear.
the podcast.
You're here just to listen.
I just want to make sure.
But yeah, we do it. We have Destiny Scott Wells, the
Coming up,
Indiana's
yes.
Democratic nominee for Secretary of State, coming on fresh off her debate last night.
Yes, fresh off the debate with only 2 of the candidates, which we're going to talk about with
We're
her.
going to talk to her after the second break, and then we got a really good show today.
Yes.
How we doing on Twitter and Facebook, Vez?
Yeah, as promised, I have some stats because
Okay.
you know I'm always on top of that.
Dude, it usually
I've got-
takes
I wanna see if they match
multiple
my
seasons
stats.
for this to happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're being treated to a treat.
He knew he'd be like just
This is a treat.
Tom,
railed if he didn't come up with these stats today.
you know I love being. Never mind, Tom.
Uh-huh.
Tom does not know this. Everyone,
I
we're
do
about to
not.
tell him these stats right now. All right, first time on Twitter,
Okay.
600 views to date.
Nice.
Okay, John, this morning
That's
I
solid.
checked 622.
Well, I'm rounding.
See, that's one of
rounding
our. That's
down.
just one of our
Yours
platforms.
You're rounding up.
100.
Don't you round up when it's after 50?
Well, yeah, but not when you're trying to help your stats.
What counts as 700? That's
Fa-
that's how you round it.
651.
We're rounding to
700 views,
Facebook.
approximately.
Facebook, 1,100.
Yep, that's what I had too.
Really?
So
That's
622
incredible.
Twitter,
Okay.
Facebook 1100.
By the
That's
way,
pretty good
ladies
for the
and
first
gentlemen,
time.
this is a live audience. Now, we get our main views off of Apple Pod, which is where I imagine a lot of you are listening. Apple Pod, Spotify, Stitcher,
Oh, wait,
Bumble,
Stitcher?
and all that stuff.
Stitcher.
Oh, YouTube,
iHeart
too.
Radio.
iHeartRadio.
There's
I
an
heard.
asterisk here. This is not just live numbers.
I
Tom.
never could
This
say
is
that
to
word.
date.
Asterisk.
Asterisk.
These aren't
Asterisk.
live numbers.
Asterisk.
Asterisk.
Some of
He's
these
How do you
are.
say
trying
it?
to
How do you
ignore
say it?
you.
I think it's
No.
asterisk. Asterisk.
Asterisk.
I
doesn't
say
wanna acknowledge
asterisk,
it.
but I think it's asterisk.
Yeah.
Asterisk.
I always have said asterisk.
I know what you mean
but
when you say it, but I don't know how to say it.
star. Asterisk.
Asterisk. It's a tricky word.
It is a tricky one.
Yeah. Lindsay, how do you say it?
Ampersand.
English major.
Asterisk.
Thank you.
Asterisk.
I'm with Lindsay on that.
Like
Asterisk.
risk at the end.
Asterisk.
Okay.
I think that's how
There you
it's,
go,
I
ladies
don't know.
and gentlemen.
I think it's asterisk.
You could say thank you to Lockpod.
Thank you to the
Next time you're in
LMP.
public and you have to say asterisk, you're going to be
I don't think
wondering if you
anybody
said it
woke
right.
up this morning and was like, I wonder how you pronounce that word.
You
Well,
never
you know what? With
You're
Judge
welcome.
hitting home runs last week, everybody was talking about the asterisk.
Mhm. The
Asterisk.
asterisk.
See?
Yes.
So there you go, Lindsay. It's a perfect example right there.
Oh, yeah.
Because of what happened in 1961 with Roger Maris.
She doesn't know what's
the
going on
Asterisk.
because she's gone for
She's
episodes. She comes back and she's missing
And
like
she
the
listens.
basic on
So now that we're
I'm
done
sorry,
talking about
I
her,
got
she's going to turn this
sick,
episode
and
off.
then I was also in nursing school.
Okay, Lindsay, this is the point when you re-listen to this episode, you'll turn it off.
We're
done talking
because we're
about
done
you.
talking about you.
No.
We're moving
I'm
forward
here. That
smartly.
means you guys are going to talk about me all the time.
Hey, I had a funny thing happen to me on the campaign trail,
Let's hear it.
and then like I wasn't going to say anything until. Okay, this is about Zach.
Until the victim said, "Don't say this."
At the
on
very
Lockpod."
end, he's like, "Whatever you do, don't talk about this on Lockpod." And I said,
Oh.
"Son of a gun!" I wasn't even thinking about that until you said that. Thank you, Zach. So anyway, when I go on long road trips, which I was on one this week, we'll go into details.
Many more
during
coming.
Mayor Tom on the road. When I'm like a divorced kid getting dropped off by the parents, right? And believe me, I was a divorced kid getting dropped off by
You know
parents.
this feeling?
So I know this feeling, right? So I get a drive from Smitty, and we're going to Greendale, which is Dearborn County, which is a 4-hour drive.
Right
It's
near
literally-
Cincinnati.
Yeah, right near Cincinnati, southeast corner of Indiana. It is a long friggin' drive. Okay, you have to go through Indy with traffic. It's 4+ hours to get there.
Big city, if you want to call it big city, like would be Lawrenceburg in the
Yes,
area.
there you go with the riverboat.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, Smitty driving me, and then he drops me off in the parking lot. Okay, with my bags, I'm just like boop, in Greenburg, in Greendale, and then up comes Zach, and I'm like, hey, and I throw my shit in his car, and then I go give a speech, do the thing, kill it. Like
Evan buy dinner.
Evan buy dinner. We're gonna talk about that later. That's not the important part of this story.
All right.
So afterwards, we're like my drivers know when we're done, we like get in the car and we jam home because I want to get home.
Long day.
In this case, we're going back to Indy because I'm in,
Which is probably
southeast
still, what,
corner of the
2?
state. 2 hours away.
Wow.
Still. So I'm going to be driving 6+ hours this day.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to get in the car and go, right?
Bunch of drivers to be ready.
Heck yeah, right? So I get in the car and Zach's like, hey, I got bad news. I'm like, what? He goes, we need to get gas. I'm like, all right. And I'm messing with him. I'm like, people usually do that before I get in the car. Whatever.
I could actually see you saying that exact thing.
It was.
In
it
that
was.
exact
It was
tone.
like jokey tone,
Yeah,
but it was
jokey,
really.
but
it was
like-
like slicing him.
Right.
But it was jokey slice,
Jokey, but like also snarky.
snarky.
That's
a good
so
word.
Zach.
That is.
I
well,
could see Zach forgetting to get gas.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this gets better. So Zach and I we start just talking about the world's problems like right off the bat. I get in the car
late.
He's like, I gotta get gas. I'm like, cool. And then we're like, boom, deep into campaign, drama, chit chat, what's going on in the world. Like Zach and I were just knee deep in talk, and he's driving.
And as the passenger, are you thinking about, he's got to get gas or just check?
That could mean I got a quarter tank. We're driving 2 hours.
Sure, yeah,
it could mean anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're
gotta
going to have to
stop
get
on the
gas
way.
before we get back to
There
Indy.
you
I
go.
don't know his
I agree with
gas
that.
situation. I just assume getting into the car as a passenger, everything's good, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I get in there, we're talking, blah, blah, blah. We're deep in talk. And now by this time, we're in the middle of basically nowhere. It's pitch black because it's dark. It's southeast Indiana. It's dark.
Rural.
And we're driving, and then I see Zach like doing math. And I'm like, why are you doing math? Like, what's going on in your head? He's like, I'm just trying to figure out like how far away this gas station is I'm going to. And I'm like, what does your thing say? Like, what is your? And he goes, we're like 2 miles away from the gas station. I'm like, good. I go, what does your range say?
No problem.
He goes, it just went to 0. I'm like, 0? I've never seen it go. And he goes, don't worry. Don't worry. I've been here before. He goes, when it goes to 0, I still got like 15 miles left. And I'm like, we're in the middle of nowhere, dude.
Okay, so here's what I got to tell you. I don't think I let my tank usually get to where it like goes to red.
I can see that.
I just try to get gas. Wow, I'm at
Isn't
0,
that bad?
and he's like, no, he knows it. He's like, oh no,
he blamed me.
I've been here before.
He's like, dude, like as soon as you get in the car, you start asking me all these questions, and then like, so we're driving and we're talking, having a good time, and then like. So we're like going up this hill, and I'm like, "Oh shit!"
Oh,
like
no.
I'm like, "Put it in neutral," and then we're like coasting down the hill, and then we like come cruising into this gas station. It'd been on 0 for 2 miles by the time we got there.
Well, he's like, don't worry, I got 13 miles left.
And
I've
like,
been here before.
A sense of relief sweeps over me, and then Zach is like, "Hey man, don't say anything about this on Lockpod." And I was like,
Because Allie's like shaking her head right now. Like,
oh, yeah.
He's been there before.
Oh, I know the councilwoman knows
Yeah.
what I'm talking about.
She knows exactly
I love
what
Zach.
he's talking about.
Zach's the best.
Zach
and
is in
Zach is a
chat.
new
Good
Lockpod
work.
star.
Yeah, good job, Zach. You made
So
it. to
if
the
Zach
gas
was an
station.
Uber driver, I would still give him. I would only give him like 4 stars.
4?
Yeah, because it was good conversation. Real good conversation.
All right. I think you got at least
But,
drop
like,
him 2 for no gas.
If he like almost killed me on the way home, I'd probably give him a 3. But like it was solid.
You're
it was
generous
solid.
with stars.
Oh, I'll throw stars out, dude.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I give 5 stars no matter what.
No
Unless
matter
they
what?
actively try to kidnap me.
See,
Then they'll
Lindsay?
get
No
maybe
matter what,
4.
she's
That's the way I raise my kids, right? But like, you know what, though, Lindsay?
This is
I
their
bet
livelihood. You know,
I bet
maybe
you
they're having a
your
bad
Uber
day.
rating, Lindsay, has got to be really high because you're sweet and you throw stars out.
I do too.
Whose Uber rating is the shittiest in the studio right now?
John's.
No, Kevin Chandler.
You know why though? I'll tell you why.
He's like-
Wait, what is your
Because
rating?
It's a
So,
friggin' horrible Uber
We've
rating.
been on
Uber.
No, it's
They'll
like
drive by him.
4.7 or something.
They'll
but-
drive
What?
by him and not
Mine
pick
is
him
a
up.
5.
Mine's a
Perfect
5, of course.
Okay, so here's what happens. We go into like
You're high
Ubers
maintenance.
where
That's what
I,
happened.
I reserve.
Kevin's like, "Fuck you! I'm only giving you 4 stars, dude."
He
I always give my drivers 5.
Really? You
But
don't always get it
I've been in
return.
situations, and I can just name different vacations when I've been on with fellas like him.
Oh, it's
where-
my fault. I got 5
where they
personally.
like start like doing things in the Uber car, making problems, making messes, and then I
Vomiting.
think and then the driver lowers my rating.
Are you blaming this on me?
I'm blaming it on you, Phil, and others.
Oh yeah, I think it's more Phil, Dr. Mike, and others.
By the way,
But,
condolences to Dr. Mike.
Yeah,
Lost
by
his
the way.
mom yesterday or over the weekend.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
sad, but
Same age as Bill, 84.
Yeah. So condolences out to the Forright family, without a
Yeah.
doubt.
Yeah. Hey, we got some mailbag.
Yeah, this is great. So, John, you'll love this. Oh, I'm sorry.
Mailbag.
Yeah, man.
That wasn't even
Can we
like
do
that
that
was
one more
the
time?
worst one ever.
One more
That's
time.
why you need to put it on the soundboard, dude.
I do. I need to record.
Take
this
2,
one.
John.
Mailbag.
That
was
good.
great.
That was pretty
Yeah,
good.
put it on the
you-
soundboard,
That
man.
was pretty good. I'll clip that and put it on the board.
I don't know. I kind of like it live. All right.
He's launching
It's
germs at me
acoustic.
every time he does it. It's like, it's
So-
like a machine gun of germs going right at me.
For those seasoned Lockpod listeners, in season 7, episode 15, we talked about a test episode, which was also known as 14B, which was
Episode
when John and I
14B.
were in the
Lost
studio.
episode.
And I got a text from one of our biggest fans, the one and only Mayor Joe Hogsett of Indianapolis.
No way.
Yes. And he said, Kevin, I've listened to season 14, episode B. It was the best episode Lockpod has aired. Joe. P.S. The lost episode. I haven't missed one yet.
Wow.
P.P.S. Go Mayor Tom Go. P.P.P.S. John, I've got your back.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh, God.
Nice.
So thank you to Mayor Joe.
Episode 14B. Thank you, Mayor
The
Hogsett.
lost episode.
I got a real piece of mailbag, though. How about this one?
What was Mayor Joe's
Whoa.
wasn't?
No,
Whoa.
Mayor. No,
I got
no,
a
no.
real piece
I
of-
love Mayor Joe. You know that.
All right.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
It's because
Sorry,
Tom
Mayor
wasn't
Joe.
on
Right.
14B.
Yeah,
He's
dude,
like,
what
let's
the-
move
what's up?
on.
I know. What kind of bullshit is that?
Thank
Hey, I
you.
got one about me. How about that?
Yeah, I see that.
We should drop 14B on Apple Pod.
14B.
How many views did it? How many views did 14B
They're
get,
like,
John?
do people actually listen to this show?
It's literally like, hey, Kevin, can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you,
It's
John.
like Kevin, count to 10.
We're dropping it. Kyle, it's coming your way today. We're dropping
The
14B.
lost episode. All right, on to you, Tom.
Mayor McDermott, it was a pleasure to meet you at the Allen County Democratic Town Hall meeting back in May.
It's a while ago.
Excited to watch the debate against Senator Young next week. I'm rooting for you and doing my best to inform my friends.
You know what my
My
favorite
friend.
my
My
favorite
friend.
part of the Fort Wayne Town Hall was the town hall where they had the empty chair with a Todd Young sign.
Oh,
on it.
you're right. I forgot about that.
Yes.
It's been empty chair the entire campaign.
I know.
This was a while ago when I was in Fort Wayne.
Yeah, it was.
I
There's a
want to
picture
say
actually
spring.
there,
Like,
but I don't know
how
if
about
John knows
this?
that.
It was early enough to where they have windows, like garage door windows that come down and come up,
See
and
that.
they're shut
I see that in the
in this
photo.
building. So it was spring, but still like cold spring.
Yep, chilly. I see people in long sleeves.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, well, listen, we're going to do some ads, and we're going to actually come back and, your mailbag talked about the debate coming up. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, as well as Mayor Tom on the road, get some banjo in, and we want to talk about this Jennifer-Ruth Green, Congressman Irvan dust-up. So
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, and I know the local media just jumped on the story today. This has been brewing on Fox News for a few days, and
And in
I think
Politico.
Kevin and I and John were talking about it yesterday, and Lindsey, of course, and I think we have an interesting perspective on the whole thing. It's interesting to me. It
Yeah,
really
so we're
is.
going to talk about that. And, of course, stay tuned for Destiny Scott Wells, our Democratic nominee for Secretary of State. She's fresh off her
She'll
debate.
be with us
She's gonna be
shortly
on
after 8, like
8:10.
8:05-ish, 8:05, 8:10. So let's get scooting.
All
Byway
right.
Brewing.
Scoot.
Byway Brewing is a family-friendly microbrewery with a spacious tap room and an outside patio. Our brewing equipment offers a unique backdrop for your private event like weddings, reunions, or corporate parties. We are conveniently located just off 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Come on by and enjoy Byway's award-winning beers and unbeatable menu. For more information, check out bywaybrewing.beer.
Is it my turn?
Oh, sure. Go right ahead. I was lost here.
There
in my
was
notes.
a pause there. Dead
No,
air.
you're right.
So,
Sorry about that, Linz.
Hi. The Ron J. Prestomer Insurance Agency has been located for decades right on Indianapolis Boulevard in Hammond, serving all of your insurance needs. They specialize in a wide variety of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, life, and more. The Prestomer Agency serves over 1,000 people and businesses in all Chicagoland and the Midwest. Call Ronnie, Ron, or Michael at 219-844-0103.
But, oh boy, I'm
Wow,
really.
you're having a
Cantrell and
rough day.
Cantrell, attorneys
Thank
at law. Are you injured or in trouble with the law? Give us a call and schedule your consultation today with somebody who's in the court and at the jail every day. Call John Cantrell at 219-554-4LAW. That's 219-554-4529. Or visit their website at bettercallcantrell.com. John and his wife, Kristen, make a great team and are waiting to hear from you.
Tortillas Nuevo Leon is the gold standard in Mexican cuisine throughout the Midwest. Look for Tortillas Nuevo Leon's popular red and white label at your local grocery store and enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia. De todo corazón.
All that talk right in your background.
I don't think they can hear that, could they?
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah, I'm
think
not sure
that-
why we even play that song, so we just talk over it.
I think that whole thing with Kevin, like, stumbling over his words was a ruse so he could read Tortilla
I
Nuevo
thought about
Leon.
actually saying that. I was just waiting to get on Tortillas Nuevo Leon.
Yeah, because Dad always does it.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Sometimes,
he
yeah.
gets a majority, and we just want the Lindsey cam to watch you dance to the song.
Yes.
All right, banjo, please.
Wait, what were you guys
Whoa.
talking about? I didn't hear it at all.
Just talking about our time schedule.
Okay. Here we go.
All right.
That's right.
Where's your?
Mayor Tom on the road,
You're supposed to be dancing
driving across the state of Indiana
in the dark with no gas.
with no gas.
Yes.
All right. This week is so we got off there on Friday and it's Tuesday. So it's basically what I did over the weekend. Friday I took off right after Lockpod, went to work for a couple hours, and I took off to Dearborn County. Thank you, Jeff Smith, for driving me. 4-hour drive. So Smitty did an 8-hour. He dropped me off. Zach picked me up in Greendale. I attended the Evan By dinner with about 50 people. It was awesome. There also was State Senator Shelley Yoder, she's a great state senator from Southern Indiana, from Bloomington. She's from, but she represents a big portion of Southern Indiana. And then congressional candidate Matt Fife, who is running in the 9th. He's excellent. He's an excellent state rep candidate. He's
Teacher?
working his butt off. He's a teacher.
Yeah.
He's excellent. I mean,
Really good guy. Really.
I'm a fan.
And he runs hard.
Yeah.
He's
No,
been
I've
running
been
hard
seeing
for
him.
a while.
I've literally run into him dozens and dozens of times across Southern Indiana.
I want to say we saw him in Jennings County when you and I went there in like last
Yeah.
September,
And
like a year ago.
We ran into him for the first time in French Lick, two French Licks ago.
Yeah, you're right.
He's a hard charging, great candidate. So Matt Fife, F-Y-F-E, I believe is how he spells his last name. He's on Act Blue if you want to donate to him. So Smitty drops me off with Zach. Like I said, divorced kid in the parking lot with his bags next to him. Zach picks me up, takes me back after I do the Evan By dinner, takes me back to Indianapolis. I crash tonight, wake up the next day in Indianapolis, debate prep, which is, we do multiple sessions. It's like classroom
Yes, it is.
with a bunch of people
yes,
that
it
are
is.
very smart. And
It's coming up Sunday.
They beat the crap out of me.
How you feeling?
About
Just
Sunday's
in general.
debate?
Mm-hmm.
I feel fine.
Good.
I'm not nervous at all.
You didn't seem like it in prep. I think you're
not.
And by the way, I think like from the first debate prep a while ago to today, I mean, it's like you're like there, in my opinion.
I know where I'm going to go on each question, each issue that comes up. I know exactly where I'm supposed to go.
John, people have asked like, where's the, how to watch the debate. Do you have any link that you can throw up and just so people have it?
Yeah, let me put that in chat.
Yep. Go right ahead.
Okay.
C-SPAN.
C-SPAN. So share the
official.
stream on Sunday. It's what time? 6 o'clock in Indy.
6 in the
So it's 5 here.
6 in the region, 7 in Indy, I believe. Or am I getting that wrong?
Whatever. But
Yeah.
it's Sunday night debate prep. You'll see a lot of prompts over the weekend on social media.
Yeah,
So-
John will put that in prep. You can get an email alert from C-SPAN when it's on.
So we had debate prep in Indy, debate prep in the region, multiple debate preps before next week. So
You'll be ready.
I am ready.
I
I'm ready
agree with
right
that.
now.
I
By the
agree
way-
with that.
And not only that, I've been doing this for 14 months now. I know the speech. I know the issues. I know what I'm supposed to say.
Well, another thing is that this isn't like your first debate.
No.
You've been
I
mayor
do
for 19
debates
years.
6 years, 6 times a year. Every year,
Good point.
I go mayor's night out live into. And by the way, even my council sessions are debate.
They can be, absolutely.
Open questions are fired at me all the time in council meetings. So the fact is, I've been doing this my whole career. Todd Young is the one that probably needs to prepare better. Being honest, I'm serious.
He's not out.
He's not confronted in public ever. He is protected like Rocky Balboa was protected from Apollo Creed.
How'd that go?
How about that? And then he got his ass kicked by Apollo, right? Is that
We
the
need
way
that
it works?
dun, 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 dun.
Yeah,
It depends which
whatever.
Rocky we're talking about.
Like, I don't know.
Not Rocky
Am I
1.
supposed to be Apollo or Rocky in this? I don't know. So anyway, and then Saturday night, great event out in Valparaiso.
Oh, that was fun.
Shauna Levinson and her family, Don, first off, Eric, her husband, Don and Rosalie Levinson hosted a party in, it was Shorewood Forest.
Shorewood, yeah, in Valpo.
Gosh, there was a lot of people.
A lot of people, and they
was
put it
awesome.
on. Aladdin Pita catered. Unbelievable. I mean, they're not a sponsor,
that
but they need to
place.
be.
Oh my gosh.
The food was phenomenal.
I don't need
It always
fundraisers
is
ever.
phenomenal.
Beautiful evening.
You notice
Their
that?
soup
know.
is incredible, by the way.
Everything good there.
So anyway, yeah, 150 people there.
By the way,
we had a band.
Tommy on the keyboards.
Yeah,
Jaime on the
yeah, Eric,
bass. Eric and
Maya.
Maya was singing, so it was real
like
nice.
a throw together band, and they killed it.
They're
And,
great.
And then last night I did Pat Boy fundraiser in Michigan City at Todd Connor's house.
Yeah,
Called
there's a
Emerson
couple
House.
pictures up there with you and Pat.
Representative Pat. She's a representative from Michigan City. She was on the Michigan City Council. She reminded me last night. That's when we first met. And I gave a really good impromptu speech.
Fired
there.
up. I liked when you pounded on the table.
I know. I've been doing that lately. I'm like,
Yeah,
like,
it was a good
people
table
are
for
like,
pounding.
Holy crap! It was
Sassy.
loud.
It was about getting out to vote. It was really good. And it was kind of like rallying the troops. It
Yeah.
was, and it happened to be a nice, loud table that you can see in those photos. By the way, Todd Connor's got it beautiful. What a setting out there.
His backyard is like a
Available for weddings and stuff. Emerson House in LaPorte, just
Was this
gorgeous.
it?
That's the backyard.
Yeah.
That's
I
But
thought
like-
this was Sherwood Forest.
No.
That's incredible.
That's Emerson
Dude, his
House's
backyard, you can't even see it. It's like a fairway with a dogleg right. Like if you threw a green out there, you could literally hit a 5-4 iron. Kevin
Yeah.
could hit his driver.
Beautiful.
I know where that was going.
It
Wow.
was going.
All right.
I know. It was good stuff, wasn't it?
Ripping me about golf.
No matter
All right.
what, Kevin, you're still better than
All
me
right,
at
let's.
golf.
Thank you.
Okay, hey, this stuff going on with Frank Mervan and Jennifer-Ruth Green right now has got to be talked about. So
Interesting.
I became aware of this issue where basically Jennifer Green, the candidate for congressional district, first congressional district, accused the Mervan campaign and Adam Wren from Politico and in Portonville, for those Hoosiers that get it.
Former
Portonville.
Lockpod guest.
He's a Lockpod guest. So Adam Wren writes a story about Jennifer-Ruth Green that at first glance, like I read the story and
It's like a
puff piece.
yeah, like
It was, man.
I mean, it was like all about she flies and she's a veteran, and it was like
This
one
is
of
her
those
in a
like
cockpit.
yeah, it was like it's something you'd see on a Sunday paper, right? Like just a biographical informational.
It was sort of like
piece.
my story in Indy Star.
There you go.
It was
Right.
Politico's version for Jennifer-Ruth Green. Quite frankly, when I read it, I was like, what a freaking nice piece for Jennifer.
I thought the same thing.
I'm like, it was very sympathetic. It was very like pro Jennifer.
that was my first impression of it.
I
when
think
read it.
honestly, when Congressman Mervan reads that, he's probably pissed. Okay, he's probably like, this is a total puff piece. Adam Wren just kissed Jennifer-Ruth Green's ass in Politico, which is going to give her contributions from across the country. So like, that's my first impression when I read it. However, there was a part in the story that I didn't really pick up on until a day later, where it's reported that in this story that Jennifer-Ruth Green was separated from the Air Force under questionable conditions because of an attack that happened on her while she was in the military. Kevin?
Yeah, I think. Well, I guess at the outset, I don't think I just want to make sure it's clear that I know the mayor, and I just want to speak for myself as well, that we're not taking any issue with the facts or pointing any. She was a victim of sexual assault. And
Yes.
that's one thing we're not.
And she was in the military.
We're not taking issue with. We're not disputing the facts. We're not doing anything like that. I think it's more about, and interesting to me, and I know John read this as well as you did, Mayor, kind of like what happened after this piece went out, because she really went after two people. She went after Congressman Mervan, and she went after Adam Wren.
So Adam Wren, obviously, she goes after and says Adam Wren he FOIA'd the military, received the documentation about her discharge, and published information about a sexual assault that she didn't want published.
Well, she's even going further, saying that she thinks that she doesn't even say Adam Wren FOIA'd them. She's saying that they were obtained illegally or by egregious error through the Mervan campaign. That's what she is alleging, right?
She has a beef with Politico, of course.
Yes.
Adam Wren, of course, right?
Yeah, this is
because Adam Wren wrote the story in Politico.
Yeah, so, let me just quote this because this is what she says about Adam Wren. I'm surprised because Adam Wren spent time in this article focusing on every single detail, down to the skirt I was wearing, down to the color of the skirt I was wearing, down to every single knob I touched in the airplane, all those things. But yet he writes clinically about one of the worst days of my life, and he wants to reduce that to 50 characters. So that's what he says about. That's what she says.
Okay,
about
so
Adam Wren.
going back again, so obviously she has a beef with Adam for Adam publishing these details in Politico, and then obviously she's upset with Politico. So now she is also accusing the Mervan campaign of being part of this.
Correct. This is what she says. I'm a survivor of sexual trauma in the military. I'm being forced to discuss it publicly for the first time because Congressman Mervan or his supporters obtained, either illegally or by egregious error, military records describing my sexual assault, as well as my performance reviews, and peddled those records to the media with the intent to smear me and my military career.
Now, this is what I don't understand, okay? I'm trying to figure out what proof she has to make that statement. Because this could have easily just come from Politico, right, Kevin?
Yeah, and Politico specifically said that Green has not contested the authenticity of the documents, which were obtained by a public records request and provided to Politico by a person outside the Mervan campaign. That's what they said about it.
So Politico says he got it outside of the Mervan
Someone
campaign.
did. Outside, not by Politico,
Right.
obtained by a public records request and provided to Politico.
Okay.
So it wasn't Politico that obtained them. They received them from some outside source that Politico is saying is not from the Mervan campaign.
See, you know, I think honestly, Jennifer's in the middle of a heated campaign, and so is Congressman Mervan. And obviously, when something happens, your natural instinct is to blame the other team. Okay, and so she has legitimate beef with Adam Wren. I get it. Jennifer also has legitimate beef with Adam Wren's his boss, Politico. I think that we need to see proof that Congressman Mervan had something to do with this before you could just throw that out there, especially over such a serious subject, sexual assault.
Yeah.
I mean, you're basically accusing the Mervan campaign of peddling this information. There's no proof.
It's interesting, and I guess maybe I was when I first heard about it. And she, by the way, she also said that she had asked several times to Politico not to talk about that in the article, and they did anyway. So I think the question I have really is Congressman Frank, who has, even in his 2020 campaign, in his 2022 campaign, he's kind of made sexual assault part of his campaign,
Yes,
victims part of his
true.
campaign. His wife
He
Jane
did
has
it
spoken
right.
about her experience. I think this year in Congress, he co-sponsored a bill specifically about military sexual assault victims.
Right.
So it's a kind of, I'm thinking like,
That's
why
what I'm
would
saying.
he, and maybe,
Suddenly change.
right.
I think that when Jennifer makes an allegation like that against Congressman Mervan, it has to be accompanied because this is all over Fox News. She was on Fox News for like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
the other
Fox
day.
Digital, it was like
By
an
the way,
11-minute interview or
So
something.
another thing is interesting is what would Frank have to gain if he did have anything to do with this? Well, I mean,
I don't know why I don't know why Frank would give records to Politico to say, hey, here, she's a victim of sexual assault.
Right.
I mean, that's that's obviously something that people.
it's a crime.
Well, yeah, and I mean,
It's probably a crime to peddle the records like that. Also,
I don't know if it's a crime. It depends on. I don't.
I wouldn't want to. I
wouldn't want to be the
find out.
person. I wouldn't want to be the person giving those to Politico.
Yeah, because there's a lot of federal regulations out there that have
About
to do with
military
military
records.
records,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I wouldn't want to find out the wrong way. So I obviously Jennifer, what happened to her when she was in the Air Force is
terrible.
Is a crime, and it's horrifying that this is happening in our military. I feel horrified for her. And to be victimized with an article like that is horrifying. Also, I get her beef with Politico. I get it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The thing I have a problem understanding is how she could prove that. I mean, I think she needs to prove that Congressman Mervan had something to do with that before she could just say this. She's saying it out loud. Congressman Mervan's all over Fox News right now. I'll guarantee you Jennifer-Ruth Green is raking in hundreds of thousands of dollars in campaign
They sent an
dollars.
email out. They sent an email out right after.
This is what it's all about, guys.
And you've got people like Boebert from Colorado and
This is what
Cotton
it's all
from
about.
coming to her defense, saying all these things. And
Boebert did?
yeah,
Wow.
But John,
Yeah.
this is federal races now. It's all about Act Green is what we call it in our party. Act Blue in our party, where people from all over the country could donate to you easily. They don't have to send checks. They just fire off $10 to you, and those $10 add up to hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's, in my opinion,
Well, and I mean, you look
she's raking in right now.
Oh yeah, I mean, she has been raking in. I mean, she's
Right.
like 1.3 million or something like that.
In a
She's
quarter.
raised over
In a quarter.
Is it in the quarter.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, that money's not from Indiana.
No.
It's not from Northwest Indiana. It's coming in from all over the country because they're trying to, support her. But
Kevin,
it's fine.
law
Whatever.
question. Can
Yes.
you FOIA the FOIA request itself to see who submitted it?
That's a
You'd
great
probably,
question.
You'd probably have to say specifically.
That's a really good question, John.
There you go.
You could. It's
Then
a
you'll find
document
out.
just like
Then you
any
It's a
find out
public
if there's any
record. Yeah.
connection
Yeah. I think you could.
to whoever. Yeah.
I wonder if that's accepted. I'd have to do a little research into that.
I bet you if we talked to Adam Wren about this, I think that Adam Wren would probably think he wrote a nice story about Jennifer, but outside of it was a puff piece outside of the stuff about the military record. It
But
was
Tom-
really it was very flattering for her outside of the military part. Obviously, the military part is where Adam stepped on thin ice and fell through, in my opinion. But I think his intent was
To promote her, help help tell the story to her.
I think his intent was
Tell
to-
her story.
Okay, whatever. You say it your way, I'll say it mine.
Okay.
To help promote her.
Okay.
Okay, and then it backfired dramatically on him.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
mean,
think.
they're definitely on the defense
Backfired
on this.
dramatically.
But you know what? Like when you read Politico's response to Green's accusations, their quote was in the Fox News article. They essentially say, and this wasn't Wren that said this. They essentially say, "Well, what do you mean? It was publicly available. This information." And that's where I've got Tom, like you. I read the article and I thought this was a really nice piece about Green. But then I got to that part about
Yeah.
our military record,
Yeah, it's horrifying.
and I got this weird feeling in my gut, like this stuff should not
I agree.
should have been talked about.
That's interesting because actually, when I read it, I kind of felt that but I was still trying to figure out, John, like why did it's the same question I had before. I'm not sure why Mervan would peddle
I think
it.
they meant. Sorry, Tom. What's up?
No, I'm saying we have a guest.
Oh, we
waiting
got
on the
3
line.
minutes. We're
Okay.
ready. Yeah, we're
We
good.
have to do ads still.
Yes, we do.
Right.
All right. So I guess we're wrapping up the Green story, John.
We could go on.
Mid-story.
I mean, it's a big story. And by the way, and up until this morning, the local media hadn't even touched this
They
story.
did. Yeah, they did touch on it
They
today.
touched it today, but this has been going on for a while. So why don't we? Obviously, we'll keep monitoring this story. I don't think it's going
Absolutely,
anywhere.
and I think maybe what they're also trying to do, and what she's trying to do, is maybe distance herself from the other big issues in the campaign, like abortion, which she's been ripped on, and other things. So it's almost like let's
point.
change the focus.
Yeah.
So let's do ads. We're going to come back with Destiny Scott Wells, our
Who's
Democratic
online.
nominee for
'Cause
Secretary of State.
We only got her for like 20 minutes.
Yes,
so
we do.
let's-
She's got to get up
We're
by
gonna go in.
8:25.
We're gonna talk. Yeah, she has another competing appointment. So
All right.
Tri Electronics wants to be your complete communications provider. Tri Electronics has been a leader in this industry for more than 55 years. They are dedicated to assisting their clients with their system integration needs. Tri Electronics has the expertise and experience to provide superior results for a wide variety of projects. For more information, call Tri Electronics today at 1-800-722-6793.
Power in America. The Lake County Electricians Training Center is seeking applications for the Electrical Apprenticeship Program. If you're a person who enjoys working with your hands in a challenging and ever-changing environment, the Electrical Apprenticeship might be for you. This apprenticeship opportunity provides tuition-free education along with paid on-the-job training. Successful applicants will be looking to make a long-term commitment to their new careers. To learn more about the apprenticeship program, please visit apply697.com.
Miss Print specializes in delivering the highest quality signs and printing on time and under budget. Miss Print's experience in technology allows them to offer custom commercial on-demand printing and sign solutions. Rick
There's one.
Balzenberger and his
There's a
team
metal
have
business
served
card for ya.
Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana for over 30 years. They have 2 convenient locations to serve you on the same street, in Munster and in Hammond.
Calumet Brewing. We welcome you to try Michelob Ultra, a superior light beer brewed for those who understand that it's only worth it if you enjoy it. Containing only 95 calories, 2.6 carbs, and a 4.2 ABV, Michelob Ultra is a light lager brewed with the perfect balance of hops and wholesome grains, producing a light citrus aroma and a crisp, refreshing finish. Check out our social media for details on this great family of beers. Enjoy the Ultra lifestyle with beers and cheers responsibly. Thank you to our sponsors.
Thank you to them. And now, welcome to
Holy cow!
Lockpod again.
She's in a car.
It felt
going
like she was on
fast.
a. It looked to me like she was on a roller coaster for a minute.
I think this is the first time we've ever had a guest live moving down the highway.
No, you.
Oh, You
Oh,
did
I
it.
guess that's true. A guest, I said.
All right, fair enough. I forgot. You're the
Ladies and
locomotive.
gentlemen, Destiny Scott Wells, Indiana's Democratic nominee for Secretary of State.
I'm sorry, I'm moving in a car.
Yes,
Okay.
I know. I was
You're
starting
moving a
to
lot.
feel like I was getting dizzy here.
I don't know. I had to take my kids to school, So I wanted to take my son to school this morning. So
Good for you.
It ran us a little tight on the schedule. So we're off to the next thing.
Hey, Destiny, how'd last night go? I didn't get a chance to see it. I've read the summaries, but I didn't. How do you think
There's a nice article in the NWI Times today about the debate, by the way, so congrats on that. Fresh off the Secretary of State debate.
I saw that article. That was a nice write-up. It's very long. I think, we didn't really do debate prep, to be honest, because we knew Diego wasn't going to be there, right? So it was a little bit more low-key.
So that for those of you that aren't aware, Destiny's running against the Republican nominee, who's Diego Morales, who decided he didn't want to debate his opponent, and he no-showed.
Right. He's like a rash of these Republicans that aren't showing up to debate, right?
It's hard to defend indefensible positions,
Right.
I thought my favorite part about what he said was that he didn't want to debate because, let me see what he said, declined to participate in the debate. He said there's no reason to have a Secretary of State debate when there are no debates scheduled this year for other down-ballot races. That sounds logical.
Right.
You don't want to have a debate from an office you're voting for. Why would you want to do that?
Well, and so this usually doesn't have a debate, but the League of Women Voters, acknowledge that how important Secretary of State races are this year, especially with an election denier like Diego running. So obviously he wants to deny, now the importance of this race, although I'm sure he talks out both sides of his mouth on that one.
Is he an election denier flip-flopper now? Did he go backwards on his initial?
Right. Well, he's tried, right? But, however, there was a video out. It's of Jim Marchant, who is the, I believe, is New Mexico Secretary of State candidate. And he established last year the Secretaries of State, the America First Secretaries of State Coalition. And so he's at a Trump rally this week saying that he established the, quote, MAGA America First Secretaries of State Coalition, and then he says they're going to get their member Diego Morales elected.
We're going to show that right now, actually, and we're going to listen to it. So John has it up. It's actually a retweet from your Twitter, at the Destiny Wells, if you want to follow Destiny. And here is what you should do. Here's the clip.
Secondly, last year I established a MAGA America First coalition of Secretary of State candidates around the country. And I'm speaking mainly now for the people that are watching live stream and on TV. We're going to elect Mark Fincham in Arizona and Kerry Lake in Arizona. They are MAGA. We're going to elect Christina Caramo in Michigan. She's one of our coalition members. Audrey Trujillo in New Mexico. Chuck Gray in Wyoming. Diego Morales in Indiana. If we get Kayla Campbell in Massachusetts.
I see you waving, Tom.
Yeah, there's a finish I wanted to finish there.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like 16 more seconds. Go ahead, John.
Believe it or not, if we get all of our secretaries of state elected around the country like this, we take our country back.
There you go.
Wow.
All right, so there you go,
That's scary.
Destiny. That's the one you tweeted, and that was right.
From Nevada.
Yeah, from New Mexico, and we're going to take our country back if these election deniers get elected.
Yeah. I think it was summarized well by John Krull last week when he said, with the Republicans right now, up is down and down is up.
Yeah. I tell you, Destiny, I know you grew up in a Republican family. My father's Republican also. And when I talk to him about what's going on, he is mystified about what happened to his, he grew up he was like a fan of Ronald Reagan,
Mm-hmm.
and that's his brand of Republicanism, and he doesn't know what the hell happened to his party. It got taken over.
Right. I got my dad to walk in.
I saw that.
Yeah, he walked with the Democratic Party just because he was supporting me, right?
Sure. I saw him talking shit to people too. I love that. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but I loved it.
Yeah, that guy, somebody yelled, "Let's go, Brandon," at my dad, and his response was he looked at him and he goes, "Just go vote."
That's awesome.
Good response, by the way.
That is a great response, yeah.
Right?
Good response. So, I mean, the question I have for you, Destiny, and for the people that are listening to the Lockpot, tell us what's at stake for the state of Indiana in the Secretary of State race, and why is it so important to be paying attention to that race?
Right. So, I mean, we've talked about how there are these election deniers running all across the country. That's part of a larger strategy by the far right moving into 2024, so that if Donald Trump is the candidate for the Republican Party again, that they are able to subvert elections if they don't get the results that they like. And so that is why we weren't even expecting, right, that Diego would get the nomination. But there's this far right movement even within the Indiana Republican Party. I mean, there's these movements all across the country, but even the Indiana GOP is susceptible to this. And so that's why Republicans are so soft on Diego right now, because they don't like him, right? He's not one of them. Although he is kind of one of them, right? He was an establishment Republican, and only now is he trying to say that he's not. He says whatever he needs to say to get where he wants to go.
I'm playing a fun game of right now trying to guess where Destiny is.
Did someone just take your a Polaroid picture, like printed out the picture? Is that what I just heard?
No.
That was just the door opening. It's probably a minivan.
Or a window
No.
coming down?
I know where she is,
Look,
I think.
you guys we can do this, but that is Lindsey, and we should let everybody know that Tom and I have the same.
Lindsay with the A.
Not me.
Yes.
Not
Yeah.
me. I'm here.
It's like she has a bus, you guys. Like,
Really?
It must be an Indy. There's a lot of car
I know.
seats
I'm trying
in
to
there.
figure out where in Indy. Are you on Meridian heading north? Hi, Lindsay.
Lindsay.
Yeah, but Lindsay has like a whole basketball team of kids, right? So
Yeah.
she's like suburban that's the size of a bus.
So are you on Meridian going north right now? Or
For her-
We are on Pennsylvania going south.
Oh,
my gosh.
Wow.
Oh, no.
Should have
I've
known
been
that
around.
the sun-
I've been around the state.
The sunlight was on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, here's a question. Diego, your opponent, fired twice from the office the same office that now he wants to lead. Fair? Is that true?
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
That's
so
incredible.
and like
It's
was
incredible.
Isn't that incredible?
right. I mean, that's
By Todd Rokita.
The
fired.
Republicans didn't have anyone else.
Well, and Todd Rokita was the Secretary of State who first fired him, right? And so Todd Rokita actually hosted a fundraiser for him and had his arm around him and how wonderful he is.
Party is thicker than state, right? With these people,
Yeah.
Upside down.
right?
And here in a couple of days, actually, is it tomorrow? I think it's Lindsay's car.
That's all right. We get it. We're good. We're not blaming you.
The former Vice President Mike Pence will also be hosting Diego a fundraiser. Mike's selling books, right? So he wants to get his book sold. It's like a $5,000 host fee, and $500 if you just want to sit and watch. But
Right.
I've heard a lot of people say they should be paid $500 to have to listen to him.
That's
Hey, Destiny. I thought this was interesting to me how this whole thing came about. It reminded me of when Richard Lugar was running and the Republicans beat him with Richard Murdoch. Much like that, in your race, you had Diego Morales running for the Republican nomination against the current sitting Secretary of State, Holly Sullivan, and he upsets her at the convention.
Think about that.
I've met Holly a couple times. She seems very nice and very professional.
Does her job.
She's not over the top political.
No.
She's just now. Do you and Holly have any type of relationship, or is that out of bounds? I was just wondering, because if I was Holly and I just got beat by Diego Morales in my own primary and I'm the Secretary of State, I'd probably be sympathetic to Destiny myself. I don't know. Is that a fair question, or is that out of bounds?
I would love to give some more details, but I can't. But
That's fine.
I will say that I have not spoken to Holly.
Okay.
And so, we had our conventions on the same day, and it was just, talk about a roller coaster, right, Tom? We were together behind the stage, and we were listening to those votes come in from the Republican convention. And what you saw was this referendum on Governor Holcomb, and Holly was the one who was the collateral.
She was the victim, yeah.
I agree with you, Destiny, totally. I think the whole thing had to do with Holly was close to Governor Holcomb, and the MAGA Republicans wanted to teach Governor Holcomb a lesson over his handling of the pandemic, so they nominated Diego, this flawed character that's running for Secretary of State, which is great for us. It's great for Destiny. It's great for our party because Destiny's got a legitimate shot at beating this guy. We need to rally the troops and get him out to vote, and Destiny's going to be our Secretary of State, which would be huge for the Democratic
It'd be
Party.
great. And I just want to make sure our listeners understand. So what we've just been talking about is that the Secretary of State doesn't go through a primary like where voters vote. These are from party faithful who go to the convention and vote for their candidate, and that's the nominee. And so they rejected Governor Holcomb and the current Secretary of State, and as Mayor Tom just pointed out, nominated this flawed candidate. It was like the far right won at the Republican convention.
Yeah.
Luckily, though, we've got you.
Tom, that's great for both of us, right, though? Because, the party right now across the aisle, the Republican Party, is having a lot of internal discord. They have this fringe element within it. Your opponent, Todd Young, just really seems like he's a man without, like, a party right now. Like,
I agree.
People are soft on him, too. And so, like, this is the exact moment in time that we need to take advantage of while we have them on their heels.
I agree with you, Destiny. And there's one thing I noticed is Destiny, Jessica, Zanae, and myself, we run into each other. We campaign together. Like, not every stop, but every third or fourth campaign stop, we're together. We run into each other. We're like, hey, haven't seen you in a week or so, right? I've never seen that ticket campaign together. I haven't seen them together. It seems to me like we have all the energy. We're a team. And then when you look at them, like you said, Destiny, they're all sort of individuals on their own.
Well, could you imagine running on a slate with him right now, especially as a woman candidate like Tara, who's running for auditor, and then having these sexual assault allegations come up? You have your face already plastered with him on everything. You've probably shot your commercial together at this point, and now you have to carry that baggage for him.
And being a Republican woman right now is tough enough anyway, and then you got this guy with sexual assault allegations on your ticket.
We get a lot of feedback from Republican women that they will be voting for Democrat in this race this year, and I can only that they'll be voting Democrat in other races too. It's just been a bridge too far for them.
Destiny, what's your so tell me your favorite day on the road so far? Something that it was just like the perfect day. I know you have these days, and I know you've had days on the other end of the scale also. Like what's like one of the most pleasant surprises hitting the road? Because you're everywhere.
But honestly, I have been really digging these Mexican Independence Day parades. They're like my favorite.
Yeah, they're fun.
Best.
They're fun.
The nicest crowd. I love, going out there with our literature. We have our literature in English and Spanish. Never have I, it's like those are the few parades where people are like, will you give me your lit? And I'm like, absolutely.
You want it, actually?
It's not littered on the floor of the parade.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
And they're just very festive. It's a great time to, celebrate the Latino culture. And and it's also, that's kind of been the elephant in the room on this race, is being against an opponent who is Latino. Representation is so important. But he really just kind of whitewashes his own culture. You see that in his commercials. And so it's been an interesting dynamic in the race, but one that has really made us, I think, running a better campaign.
You guys are running a great campaign. I think, and I think all four of us are running a great campaign. And I do see you going to a lot of parades, and I see you in the region all the time. And I know that's a 2+ hour drive for you, and that's the thing is I appreciate that. I heard about the day my stepfather passed away. I knew the team was up here, and I couldn't in Hammond, and I was not in no shape to make a public appearance that day. And it went longer than I thought, and I was sort of getting angry because I knew that Destiny had to drive home, and then Zanae had to drive home, and Jessica had to drive back to Bloomington. It's like that's a 3-hour drive.
You know what I thought was crap is that the young team knew that what had happened. And they still sent
the tracker.
A tracker to your event. I was so mad. I was like, how dare they send a tracker on this day when they know that Tom is grieving? And, I'm so glad that Judge Marissa came in your place. And it's great when you have a supportive spouse like that. But I was totally turned off in that moment with the team.
Yeah, he and I heard that the tracker left as soon as he
disappointed.
He's like, damn,
disappointed tracker. I know you've got to go to your next interview, Destiny. I want to give you a chance to tell our listeners and viewers how they can donate to you, how they can learn more about you, and how they can tune in to what you're doing before Election Day.
Well, first of all, I just want to say thanks for having me on again. It's been a pleasure to run, this on this campaign, on this ticket with Mayor Tom. Mayor Tom has been great with the 3 women who are running down ballot. And so if you want more information about our race, it's wellsforindiana.com. You can also go there and donate, and then you can also volunteer. And there's all types of different ways to volunteer at your comfort level. If you're somebody who likes to get out and canvass, or somebody who just wants to stay home and do phone banking, we appreciate your help in any capacity. So thank you so much.
Destiny Scott Wells, that's Indiana's future. As long as we do our job, she's going to be our next Secretary of State. So let's do our job and get her elected. Thank you for coming back on Lockbot. I think this is like your 4th appearance. So you are a veteran, Destiny Scott Wells.
Thank you.
Thank you. Tell Lindsey I said hello.
All right. Go get him.
Bye.
All right. And, that was awesome. That was a great interview.
I always get nervous.
I know you do.
I know.
Get all freaked out.
No, because she's super in a hurry. And I wanted to get her. I wasn't trying to cut off the Jennifer-Ruth Green stuff. I'm like, Lindsey's got.
And then you cut off our great video we had that we knew we were.
I know, man.
I'm
sorry. I just get nervous because I want to make sure that we do the time right for her. We did. We did.
We're pros.
Now, by the way, let's go back and talk about.
Well, no, I want to mention one thing because this is important. If you have not registered to vote, today's the last day to register.
Yep.
If you know anybody that's moved, change their name, get them to re-register, get them registered. Make sure you register to vote because tomorrow, October 12th, is the first day you can early vote. And more importantly, you cannot register to vote after today. If you're not registered, you will not be able to vote for Mayor Tom. You will not be able to vote for Destiny Scott Wells and all the other great candidates on the ballot.
Do it today, and then tomorrow early voting starts.
Early voting starts tomorrow. Think about that. As of tomorrow, Tom, you are going to have voters voting for you for U.S. Senate.
I already do. People already told me absentees have been going.
Oh, I guess you're right. Absentees have been turned in.
People are
we
like,
have
I
a
already
couple
voted
of
for you.
comments on here saying that they absentee voted last weekend.
By writing by the
I always wait
ballot.
till towards the last second just in case the candidate screws up, and then I punish them.
I go on
I go
election
early.
day.
I don't want to.
I love doing that.
I shouldn't tell people that. We want you to vote early.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
I usually go within the first week because there's never a line. And that's a kind
there
of
better
a
be freaking lines.
Well, I'm just saying
guy.
it
That's
builds
a good
up.
message to
It
send
builds
out.
up. It builds up.
I want lines on day one.
They are going to be lines. But
Like
I'm
massive
just saying if you're
lines of people waiting to vote, new voters
lined up tomorrow.
Lindsey should have 50 friends showing up because if you do, that's 50 votes for your dad.
You guys know me. I'm not a very political person. I don't really.
Are you insane?
Get involved.
You're like,
I'm involved in it. I'm aware
you're
of
like,
it.
yeah, you're pretty underspoken.
No, but my friends and I, we don't really talk politics, honestly.
Let's start.
And I have a lot of friends who are like, "Hey, your dad's running for Senate," and I was like, "Yeah, you should definitely register and vote."
Your friends are losing their civil liberties.
Well, because
Lindsey.
my friends aren't involved in politics.
Doesn't matter.
So
Get them to register.
That's what I've been doing.
Today.
That's the point I'm making. Is I'm getting my friends to vote.
And
for
Lindsey,
you.
this is something that somebody your age and younger and whatever age, I guess, you can register online today at indianavoters.com. So don't think you have to fill out a piece of paper. Don't think you have to get it down to Crown Point. Go on indianavoters.com right now and register and check your registration if you have any questions about it.
Todd Young is all up in your uterus, Lindsey.
Whoa.
I am aware, and it's
How's that feel?
kind of inconvenient.
Tell your friends.
It's
Todd
kind
Young.
of inconvenient.
Todd Young is all up in your uterus. Go out and vote, right?
Yeah.
Fire Todd.
I'm
Young.
channeling my inner
Hashtag
woman.
Fire Todd Young.
I am channeling my inner woman by election day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Seriously,
getting in touch
I want to
with
be
his
full
feminine
fledged.
side.
I'm going to keep my comments
I
to
want
myself.
to be full fledged.
Yeah,
I plan to be ovulating by election day.
Wow.
Dad, you want me to get you some press-on nails?
Would you?
Yes.
Like I'm going to be full on by election day.
Look out. See the
It's
transformation
going to be.
here.
It's going to be
I
5
have to
women
find
running
like the
statewide.
biggest
That's
high
right.
heels I can find, and
I would
slap
not
'em
do
on his
well.
feet.
I'll be wearing flats. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh.
Make sure you shave too.
ballet flag.
I will shave also. But anyway,
Hey, I just want to wish you good luck on the debate. Well, I mean, obviously I'll see you before then, but tune in. Make sure you tune into the debate. There's that C-SPAN link.
we
You
still got
can get
another
emailed.
show before that.
Yeah,
so,
Friday. I guess
right.
you're right. I'm just thinking ahead. I'm thinking of the week. So
Yeah.
He's
But anyway,
he's so practical, pragmatic.
he's thinking ahead.
I'm
But
thinking ahead. I'm just thinking about my buddy Tom, and he's got a big week ahead of
I
him.
do.
So.
By the way, we appreciate our guests, Lockpod fans. We appreciate you very much. Honestly, it's you guys, Lindsey, John.
Aw.
I go around the state and I hear people talk about our show all the time. It's really super
Who's their
cool.
favorite?
Oh, me, of course.
Of course, the locomotive,
please.
Linz.
Of course. I mean,
Everybody I run into says that I'm their favorite.
yeah. It's all right. I didn't mean to laugh. I'm sorry.
I mean, not to leave John or I out of it, but maybe we don't have any favorites, John.
John's my favorite.
Yeah. John's got.
Well,
the
thanks,
You're
guys.
welcome.
Thank you, everybody. Anybody?
Yeah.
Anyone?
I like the caboose.
Kevin, you're a close second.
I like the caboose.
Thanks,
Jana
Vince.
likes the caboose.
I don't know.
All right. All right. All right. Thanks, John, for for a great show. I don't know what you did, but I mean, I'm just trying to be polite, you know.
It's going smoothly over here. I can see.
I guess it's true. Destiny was in a moving car going across the state of Indiana. And
Yeah, her reception was
you
amazing.
linked up to her very well.
Well, you could tell that they've got good Wi-Fi in Indy, unlike rural parts of the state,
This is true.
where 1 in 5 people don't have a good broadband connection.
Lindsey promised
Todd Young
they'd be
voted
in
against
a
it.
parking lot in Indianapolis with great cell reception. She logs on, they're driving down a street.
Like
I'm
Going
like,
pretty
quickly.
fast.
I'm like,
Fast,
this is
by
going
the
to be
way.
a disaster.
I always-
It was great.
It was good.
When I'm talking about Lindsay and Lindsay, I am very specific about
I'm getting
that.
very confused.
Because, yeah, I'll be like, Lindsay. If you hear me emphasize the A, I'm talking about Lindsay in Indianapolis. If I
Yeah,
say
she spells
Lindsay
it wrong.
and I'm talking about you guys spell it differently. So let's just pronounce the final
According to the
syllable.
notorious LMP, she spells it wrong.
I hear that. So
Hey,
Mine is
let's,
spelt like Lindsey Buckingham.
I mean, you chose
Okay.
as the
What is
father
that?
of
Right.
Lindsay to spell it that way.
You don't
Right.
know who Lindsey Buckingham is?
not off the top of my head.
What?
that is embarrassing,
Fleetwood
dude.
Mac?
Oh my!
Oh,
I'm gonna
yeah,
say-
sorry.
Oh, whatever.
Sorry. No, no, no.
Jeez.
Sorry.
Wow.
That's
Showing
why.
your true
I
colors
immediately
here,
thought of
John.
Buckingham
Oh, my.
Palace or
Fired.
something.
Get
I
outta
was like,
here.
what are you talking
What?
about?
All right, guys. It's been another
On that
great
note-
episode. Dueling, live streams. People listen on all kinds of platforms. Don't forget to rate, subscribe. Tell everybody how much you love the locomotive. I mean, that's fine if you want to do that. I'm just saying. It's appropriate. I know sometimes people get embarrassed about it. I'm just throwing it out there. Kevin
Hey.
Smith, thank you. What, John?
You're welcome.
Let's get back to the green thing on Friday because
Yeah, let's
I
get back to
actually
the-
studied up on this.
Good.
and
He
you guys
had
are just like,
notes.
oh, I gotta get it out.
But John, we had a busy show, but like we did talk about it, and we are going to talk about it again on Friday, and we'll update
All right,
everybody.
we'll update
okay?
because
How about
I'm
that?
sure there'll be more to talk
Is that
about.
cool, John?
Yeah,
All
absolutely.
right.
Thanks everybody for listening. Lockpod Season 7, Episode 16. We'll be back on Friday. Thanks to Destiny Scott Wells for beaming in from Indianapolis. Thanks to Lindsay, John, Kevin, and coming from the locomotive. We love you, and we'll see you next show. Take care. Lockpod's out.